Have you ever walked into a store or browsed online only to leave with bags full of things you didn't really need? Maybe it's that pair of shoes on sale, a gadget you saw advertised, or the latest trendy item you didn't plan on buying. Yet, there you are, carrying it home. We've all been there. But why do we do this? Why do we overspend, even when we know it's not in our best interest? In today's video, we're going to explore the psychology behind impulse buying and why we often buy things we don't need or can't afford. You'll be surprised at just how powerful our minds are when it comes to our spending habits. Impulse buying happens when we make spontaneous, unplanned purchases. It feels good in the moment. You get that instant satisfaction, but it often leaves us feeling guilty or regretful afterward. So, why does this happen? One of the main psychological reasons we overspend is instant gratification. Think about it. In a world that often feels stressful and uncertain, a purchase gives us an immediate reward. It feels like a small victory, a quick way to elevate our mood. It's almost as if our brains are wired to seek out pleasure and avoid discomfort. And spending money is one of the quickest ways to get that dopamine hit. Another factor that drives our overspending is the concept of scarcity. Stores and marketers know this well, which is why you see phrases like limited time offer, only a few left, or last chance. Our brain perceives scarcity as a threat. We're afraid of missing out, so we buy even when we don't need it. This is often referred to as FOMO, the fear of missing out. Let's face it, when we see something that's almost gone, it triggers a sense of urgency. Our brains can't help but act quickly to secure that item. And suddenly, we're making a purchase that wasn't on our to-do list. Apart from the two factors we discussed already, there is a third factor which most important and contribute a lot in impulse buying, and that is plastic money. With just a swipe or tap, we are now able to purchase items without feeling the loss of money. Credit card or debit card purchases do not give us the same feel of loss when we pay with actual money. When we give out cash from our wallet or purse, we can see it getting depleted, and it triggers our brain to be mindful. But swiping or tapping cards does not have the same psychological effect. We do not actually see our money depleting. Credit cards are so vicious that they give us the illusion of owning the item even if we cannot afford it. At the end, we are down with debt and barely keep ourselves afloat. But it's not just about the external factors. Our own internal triggers play a huge role. One of the most powerful emotions behind impulse buying is emotional spending. We may buy something to feel better after a stressful day, to reward ourselves for an achievement, or simply to fill an emotional void. It's an easy escape, but in the long term, it doesn't solve the underlying issues. It's important to remember that emotional spending, while comforting in the short term, doesn't address the root causes of our emotions. It's like putting a band-aid over a deeper wound or inflicting a deeper financial wound. Another powerful influence on our spending habits is social influence. We're often influenced by what our friends, family, or even strangers are doing. It's easy to justify a purchase when you see someone else buying it, especially when they seem happy or excited about it. This is where social media has an enormous impact. Platforms like Instagram and TikTok are filled with influencers showcasing the latest trends, and before we know it, we feel compelled to join in. The desire to fit in or be seen as part of a group can push us to spend money on things we don't need, just to keep up. But this constant comparison can lead to a dangerous cycle where we base our self-worth on what we own, rather than who we are. That's a recipe for overspending and ultimately dissatisfaction. We've all experienced it, the post-purchase guilt, that feeling when the initial excitement fades and you start questioning your choices. It's no surprise that cognitive dissonance often follows. This is a psychological phenomenon where our actions don't align with our values or beliefs, creating discomfort. Our mind tries to resolve this by justifying the purchase, even if deep down, we know we didn't really need it. This is where the vicious cycle of overspending begins. We justify our purchases, but we don't truly address the root causes behind our impulse buying. Over time, it can lead to financial stress, regret, and a sense of being out of control. So, how can we break this cycle and regain control of our spending? Well, the first step is awareness. Start by identifying the triggers that lead you to make impulsive purchases. Is it stress, boredom, or a need for validation? Once you know what's driving your behavior, you can begin to change it. Next, create a budget and stick to it. Make a list of what you actually need before heading to the store or shopping online. And remember, it's okay to take a step back. If you're unsure about a purchase, give yourself 24 hours to think about it. Chances are, you'll realize you don't need it. In the end, it's about making more mindful decisions, understanding your emotions, and aligning your spending with your long-term goals. Overspending doesn't have to control you. You have the power to take charge of your finances and build a healthier relationship with money. Thanks for watching. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And share this with anyone who could use a little help with their spending habits. See you next time.